Well, my name is Tim Propst, and I'm a retired U.S. Navy chief. I was in from October of 1976 when I graduated East Burke High School until March of 1999. The story I'm going to talk about is what it's like to go through a shellback initiation or crossing the equator on a Navy ship. In my particular case, I crossed the line the first time on January the 11th, 1980 off the coast of West Africa. I was on the USS Texas, that's a nuclear guided missile cruiser, brand new ship. We had to go around to Africa. Some of the older guys were pretty excited about that because we were going to get to cross the equator, and the older guys were already initiated. Some of the things I'm going to tell you are hazing. There's a whole complete week of ceremony before we were to cross the equator. We get a visit in the middle of the night by the legendary Davy Jones. Davy Jones is King Neptune's right-hand man. Davy Jones comes aboard 5 days before the ceremony, meets with the captain and addresses the crew and tells them that we are about to enter King Neptune's realm. King Neptune and his court are going to come aboard 5 days from now, and they're going to initiate the crew who has not been across the equator yet. And he will be assisted by all the initiated shellbacks on board the ship, and the weirs stand by for further orders, and then he leaves. We are then informed the next day that those of us who have not crossed the equator will now be called pollywogs, and we're the lowest of the low and scum and this and that, and they call us a lot of nasty names. We're going to be punished. There has to be a royal court. King Neptune, obviously, and Davy Jones is there. There has to be a queen. And so we had a beauty contest, and they elected the queen. There's also a royal baby, a royal doctor and a royal dentist and a royal scribe. So the day before the ceremony is Pollywog Day. So all the pollywogs get to do that day whatever they want to shellbacks. We got to have whatever we wanted to eat that they had. We asked for special food, and I got to witness the captain being put in his chair and tied up, and we put some kind of grease in his hair, and then he had to eat a cream pie, tied up. So he had to basically got pushed in his face. The uniform of the day is dungarees, inside out and backwards, and skivvies, which is t-shirt and underwear, inside out and backwards. Your boondockers or your shoes have to be on the wrong feet. So we were told to dress in the uniform of the day, and the only way that a pollywog can move from one place to another is on their hands and knees. There would be no walking. We crawled to breakfast. Everything was just nasty looking, right? And so we ate, and then the ceremony started at 7. We're crawling everywhere. Now, the shellbacks are all dressed as pirates. And so they've cut 1.5-inch fire hoses to about 4 feet in length. And they've tied one end like a handle, and the rest is like this, and you're getting kind of whopped on the butt with them as you're crawling. Getting yelled at, having water thrown on you, and you go out to the main deck. You crawl out on the fantail, which is the end of the ship, our helicopter pad basically. And there is the royal court, and you have to grovel, of course, in front of King Neptunus Rex, So you're on your belly by then, and there's grease that's been put down on the deck, so you're kind of crawling through that. And you're getting hit, and you're getting stuff thrown on you, and you can't look at King Neptune. And once I get past him, and I have to kiss the queen on the lips, okay? But I'm not allowed to get above where I'm at, and she's not coming down to me, so basically I kiss her on the foot. And then next is the royal baby, and Jim is sitting there with the diaper on and his little hat, and he's got grease all over his stomach. There's a bottle of pearl onions next to him, so he puts a pearl onion in his belly button, and you have to go get it. So, you get up to his stomach, and of course he grabs you by the head and just, rubs you all in that, and you get the pearl onion in your mouth, you have to present that onion to the doctor who's next, and he has to examine you, and he squirts some kind of nasty stuff in your mouth, and you go to the dentist, and he does some stuff. And then my favorite thing, so this garbage had been collected on day one of the ceremony. When Davy Jones came aboard, he instructed all the Shellbacks to collect garbage. So anything that was on the mess decks, in the galley, was put into laundry bags, and these laundry bags were sewn into 25-foot sections, and there's 2 of them. Each 25-foot section of a laundry bag, about 4 foot across, or maybe 3, is filled with garbage, and it's been sitting out there in the sun so that's terrible. And in this garbage are whole onions and hot dogs that have been strategically, specially placed in there, okay? And you have to find one, and your hands are tied behind your back, and you're blindfolded. If you don't find one, because they're hitting you as you're in there, don't have an onion or a hot dog, then you have to push all that stuff back in, and then you have to go back around and go through again. Went through the garbage chute 7 times, and so it's all over you. I mean, you're just nasty. The thing you don't realize is you're crawling on your hands and knees. I wore out both knees of my dungarees. I wrapped rags around my hands, so somebody said wrap rags around your palms so you don't wear the skin off. Going through the garbage chute with hands tied behind your back, my rags fell off, and I didn't realize that my palms were raw. But you go through all these stations, and then they tell you that you're really dirty. You need to get all this stuff off of you, because you've got to go back before the king to ask him, if you could please become a Shellback. So I had to crawl from the back all the way to the bow, and up at the bow they've got grease on the bullnose, and the bullnose is the little piece where the anchor chain goes through. And they've got a water hose up there, and they're hosing you off, and you've got to take a paintbrush and take some grease and brush the bullnose with your hands tied behind your back. And the ocean is right there. So it was pretty fun. They tie a rope around your belt to keep you from falling through. And then you got to crawl back, and by then I was getting kind of pissed, because I realized my hands were bleeding. You get up to King Neptune, he says, well, the royal scribe is asking you who you are and everything. And I said, no, I don't feel cleansed yet. They put me through the whole thing again. They ended up going through it, the whole thing 3 times before I was finally so tired I said, I give up, and they hoist you, they put you in a cargo net and hoist you up and dip you into a big vat of what used to be fresh seawater, but now it's just nasty. They dunk you in there and they bring you up and they ask you what you are. Finally, I'd had enough. I said, I'm a Shellback, get me out of here. And then you just go back to regular business. I hope you enjoyed my story.